Hey everybody, welcome to a new video where we're going to kind of try and break down this new Lightning Lane Premier Pass that was just announced today for both Disneyland and Walt Disney World. A huge shout out to our buddy Scott Gustin for breaking all of this morning, kind of breaking it down a little bit. So I want to kind of break it down a little bit more in this video, kind of give you my thoughts. Before I get started, make sure, first of all, that you're clicking below to subscribe to our channel. As always, greatly appreciated. Also want to say happy 101st anniversary to Walt Disney Studios. Cheers. Absolutely celebrating the studio itself and very happy that it's still around. So yay Disney. So that kind of ends the positive part of this video. So this is, if you remember, many of you don't, because judging by the views, many of you never watched it. But in November of 2022, I made a video about Lightning Lane and comparing it to other Skip the Line passes at Universal and at Six Flags and SeaWorld, and kind of comparing the price and the impacts that they have on standby lines. So I'll link to that video here if you haven't seen it. Again, most of you haven't, judging by the viewership of that video. I was actually really proud of that video, and I don't understand why it didn't get the viewers that it did. But anyway, I regress. So basically the purpose of that video, the point of that video, was that the process, the plan that Disney had in place for Lightning Lanes had a bigger impact on standby lines than, say, Universal Express or Flash Pass at Six Flags, or the Skip the Line passes at Cedar Fair parks or SeaWorld parks, or even Legoland parks for that matter. So that was kind of the gist of that video, where it was, this is you know, Disney needs to adopt a more Universal Express type system to alleviate the stress on the standby lines and allow them to move in a more free manner and to not impact standby lines as much as the Lightning Lane process does. So that was the gist of that video, right? Well, it turns out Disney did it. They've now implemented a more expensive Premier. I'm going to look over here at my other screen. So if I'm not looking at you, I'm looking at my screen over here. So Lightning Lane Premier Pass. They've announced this Lightning Lane Premier Pass that kind of puts it more in line with Universal Express. So it allows you to go through the Lightning Lane lines once during your visit. It also includes any Lightning Lanes that are an upcharge, such as Guardians of the Galaxy at Epcot, Seven Dwarfs at Magic Kingdom, Rise of the Resistance, and a few other ones. Oh, and Avatar Flight of Passage. So it includes all those, allows you to go through those lines anytime you want, once. Which, again, so there's some Universal Express passes that are unlimited, but there's also the one-time Express Pass. So it kind of puts it in line with those passes. At Disney World, that pass is only valid for those that are staying in a deluxe hotel. And again, I'm going to look over here at Scott's stuff. At a deluxe hotel, or you are at a deluxe, a villa, or a DVC hotel. So you can only purchase it when you're there. At Disneyland, anybody can purchase it. Okay. So when I first saw this, I'm like, great. They're going to replace the existing Lightning Lane with this new Premier thing. It's going to be great. It's going to be like Universal Express. It's going to, for lack of a better word, make standby lines great again. Haha. I see what I did there. So I was kind of like, okay, great. Well, it turns out, no, they are just adding this as yet another layer of their existing Lightning Lanes. So you're still going to have, the $35 one that you can buy where you have to select a time to return. You're still going to have the ones where you can pay to ride Guardians or Rise of the Resistance or Flight of Passage or Rise of the Resistance in California or Seven Dwarfs. You're still going to have that one, in addition to this new Lightning Lane thing that is going to be a premium price for one visit through the Lightning Lane at any time that you want. So this is just another layer. So off the top, I will say that I don't think that this is going to have a huge impact on Lightning Lanes. There's going to be the initial period of people that have vlogs, present company not excluded, that are going to do this. And here's my vlog on the new, Premier Pass Lightning Lane. Here's how you do it. Here's how it worked. Blah, blah, blah. You're going to have that initial rush of people like me that are going to go out. I'm just so you know, I'm not going to do it. But you're going to have that initial rush of people that are going to go out and do this because they want to create content based off of this. There's going to be that initial rush. So there will be probably an impact in the short term of this. In the long term, I don't see this having as big of an impact as Disney might be hoping that. I think some of the people that may be doing things like their VIP tours, you see a plaid at the parks now. It used to be you would see a plaid and, ooh, who's the celebrity? Now it's just people that are paying for the VIP thing. They're just paying for a plaid to skip the line. Hardly ever you see a celebrity anymore with a plaid. So this is going to probably take the place of that, some of that group. But again, that is, a whole different level. So there will be some of that. So like I said, I don't think it's going to really impact, the existing Lightning Lanes that much. But I will say, for example, we stayed at Universal Hard Rock Hotel in May. So we had, unlimited express during the day at Universal Parks for 3 straight days, where we could go and ride everything as many times as we wanted, except for Hagrid's. Obviously, no express on Hagrid's. And the longest line that we had was probably, in the afternoons, maybe for Velocicoaster, it was, 10 to 15 minutes with the express. Literally everything else from Harry Potter to Hogwarts Express to Men in Black, Hulk, everything else, Spider-Man, was literally a walk-on for Express through our 3 days there. On the last day we were there, I went to Islands of Adventure for early entry. You can use your Express during early entry for Velocicoaster. I rode 7 times in an hour using my Express. That's how quick it worked. Now at Disney, there are certain attractions that are Lightning Lane, and you get such a backup that it ends up being a 20 to 30 minute wait, even with the Lightning Lane. So I'm going to go over the prices of these and just think in your head as I'm going through the prices. Would I pay this much to ride something once and also still have to wait in a 20 to 30 minute line because Lightning Lane is backed up? Okay, so again, keep that in mind as I'm going through these prices, that not only are you going to have the people that are paying this premium price going through the Lightning Lane line, but you're getting the same people that are in the Lightning Lane lines today paying the $35 or whatever it is to select a time to return to, say, Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout at Disneyland, which gets a very backed up line sometimes. Indiana Jones at Disneyland, which gets a very long backup line. Radiator Springs, which gets a very long Lightning Lane return line. So keep that in mind as I'm going through these prices, and think to yourself, would I pay what they're charging to still wait in a 20 to 30 minute line for certain attractions? Okay, so here we go. So as I mentioned, for Walt Disney World, the Lightning Lane Premier Pass debuts October 30th and is available to guests at Disney Deluxe, Villa, and DVC resorts. It can be purchased up to 7 days prior to your visit. It is for one park, one Lightning Lane per ride per day. So you only get to ride everything once. Prices will vary by date and theme park. So Animal Kingdom, the prices will range from $129 to $199 plus tax. Epcot, $169 to $249 plus tax. Hollywood Studios, $269 to $349 plus tax. Magic Kingdom, $329 to $449 plus tax. Okay, so just think about that for a second. You're paying for a deluxe hotel at Walt Disney World. Let's say on average $500 a night, depending on the night. Obviously, you have 8P discounts, blah blah blah. We're just average $500 a night. And you want to go to Magic Kingdom, and that's an additional, let's say, $350 average for the Lightning Lane Premier Pass. You have a family of 4, you're talking an additional $1,400 to ride everything at Magic Kingdom for one day, in addition to your $500 for your hotel and your tickets and, you know, whatever it is that you have. Okay, so keep that in. So that's Walt Disney World. And keep in mind that I did a price comparison for October 30th to 31st at Universal. I believe it was Royal Pacific. It was $600 a night for that night, which includes 2 days, which would include the 30th and the 31st, your arrival date and your departure date of Unlimited Express at Universal Orlando. So just keep that in mind. All right, so at Disneyland, it's a little bit different. It debuts October 23rd, which is next week. It's available to all guests with a park reservation. No need to stay at one of the 3 Disneyland hotels to get this thing. I've been saying for years that Disneyland is a locals park. People always like to argue that point with me. This is just another in a long list of reasons why I consider Disneyland to not be a resort. It is a locals park, and here you go. Here's another reason. So anyway, debuts October 23rd, available to all guests with a park reservation. Can be purchased 2 days prior to your visit. Prices for both parks, so you get both Disneyland and Disney California Adventure, so it's, you get both parks there. 1 Lightning Lane per day per ride, or per ride per day, excuse me. Prices will vary by date. So for the rest of 2024, for every single day left in 2024, $400 a day per person. In 2025, prices will vary by date and demand, ranging from $300 to $400 per person. So again, you're having, a family of 4, you're talking another $1,600 to ride everything at Disneyland in a day. So again, keep that in mind. Are you willing to pay $400 per person to still wait in a 20 to 30 minute line for something like Indiana Jones when you can pay $35 and just select your time? All right, so let's do a little price comparison here based off of our new Premier Lightning Lane at $400 a week from today to what we have for Lightning Lane at Disneyland today. Okay, so here's my screen. I'm looking at it right now. It's 10:47 on Wednesday, October 16th. Okay. So Lightning Lane today is $32 per guest. Okay. The latest return time that I'm seeing right now for Disneyland is, drum roll, I guess Matterhorn at 120, even though standby, Indiana Jones at 135. That's the latest return time I'm seeing at Disneyland, and it is currently a 30-minute standby. Okay. At Disney California Adventure, the latest return time that I'm seeing right now is for Web-Slinger Spider-Man at 2:35 and a 25-minute wait at the moment. Okay, so that's what you're paying for $32, right? So fair price. Okay, so in addition to the $32, you would, if you're paying for the Premier, you're also getting Radiator Springs Racers, so that's $19. So that puts you up to $51, right? So that would be $51 that you would be paying for Lightning Lane and Radiator Springs, and then you need to add in Rise of the Resistance. So $51 plus Rise of the Resistance is $27. So you're talking $78 that you would be spending per person to ride all of the attractions that are included in the Lightning Lane Premier at Disneyland today. So what did I say? $78, right? Yeah. So $78. So you're paying essentially $322 more simply to not have to select a time to return for your Lightning Lane. Is that worth $322? I'm not sure that it is. There's also some comparisons here for Universal. So, for example, on launch day of October 30th, the one-time Universal Express right now, Magic Kingdom is $329 for the Lightning Lane, $269 at Hollywood Studios, $169 at Epcot, and $129 at Animal Kingdom. At Universal, Islands of Adventure is $115, and Universal Studios Florida is $110. That doesn't include Halloween Horror Nights. That's just for regular, daytime park hours. Okay. So yeah, so I don't really think that it's worth it. So now, the other point of this is Disney had an option here to do something that we asked for in that original, bring it back to that original video from November of 2022. Disney had a great opportunity here to actually do something that was in that same, what we were asking for. What would that have been? Basically, your premium Lightning Lane, so to speak, make it in line with Universal Express, maybe a little bit more. So if Universal Express is $115 on the 30th, then you make yours $50 more. Fine, whatever. You make it $200. Make it $200 for Magic Kingdom. You're going to get way more people purchasing this at $200 than you're going to get at $329. And then you eliminate the lowest, the current Lightning Lane, it's $35 a day. You eliminate it totally. What that would do, as I mentioned earlier in this video, it's going to have a positive impact on the current standby lines, because there's not going to be as many people in that Lightning Lane queue at a price point of $200 as there are at a price point of $35. So you have that $200, you can write everything once, that's fine. You don't need to do a return time, that's fine. But you eliminate the stress on the standby lines that currently exists, thus improving the overall guest experience. You're giving people who want to pay a premium price for your product, namely the Lightning Lanes, and don't want to wait in line, maybe a family that's doing a once-in-a-lifetime trip and they're going all out, you're giving them what they want, but you're also making sure that your guests that are there to just have a fun day, stress-free day, where they don't have to spend all day on their phones planning every freaking thing out from 8 a.m. to midnight, or 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Animal Kingdom, or 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sorry, you can't open Animal Kingdom at night. But you're giving those people a stress-free day of not having to plan out every single aspect of their trip. And Disney didn't do it because they want everything. They want the lower tier, they want your $35 a day, because you go into the park and you see that, standby line for Space Mountain is already 50 minutes at 8:05 in the morning. I better get the Lightning Lane. They want that person, but they also want the other person that's going to pay $400 a day to not have to wait in any lines. So they want both. They want their cake and they want to eat it too. And I don't understand why they can't just follow what works for every other park. It works. Express at Universal works. Flash Pass at Magic Mountain works. The skip the line passes at Cedar Fair Parks works. SeaWorld, it works. You know why it works? Because it doesn't have a negative impact on standby lines. It's a negligible impact on standby lines. At Disney, they're just compounding the issue, and they're making it even worse now. And that's what's going to happen. People are going to eat it up. Josh DeMaro's sitting over there in his freaking office doing all this shit. Nobody cares. Nobody ever blames Daddy Josh for any of the stuff that's going on at the parks. You got lights coming up from the floor in Epcot that are being taped down at night now. Nobody mentions Josh. They mention Bob Chapek still, even though he hasn't been CEO for how long. They blame it on Iger, which I agree. Give them the blame too. But Josh DeMaro is like the crown prince of Disney right now, and nobody is giving him any crap for the negative guest experience that's happening at Disney. Now, I'll be honest, I'm still going. I got my Magic Key. We're going next week. We had to cancel our Universal Orlando trip due to some family issues. we're still, we're kind of doing a makeup trip. We're just doing a staycation, so to speak, at the parks here. So we're going next Friday. We're going back in. We're going to Walt Disney World in January for the Dopey. I've been wanting to do the Dopey since I started renting in 2010. We're doing it. Disney's going to get our money. I'm not